right now on 5 on your side at 10.
A shelter shakeup leading to a rush for cats and dogs.
We just hope every animal gets adopted.
The pets still left behind tonight.
Well, for the first time in almost a week, we were above freezing everywhere. And while 41 is not all that warm, and it's certainly not above average, we're going to continue to see more days like this in the near future. How warm it gets and how long, this could stick with us.
Our top story, the return of soccer has excitement hitting fever pitch in St. Louis.
Everybody's excited. You can kind of feel the buzz in the restaurant, so we're ready.
And downtown businesses are all in. Right now, a Saturday night sports frenzy is underway in St. Louis. Fans have packed downtown as the Blues hit the ice at Enterprise Center, and City SC kicks off a new season at the newly renamed Energizer Park. Both games have just wrapped up within the last 90 minutes. Good evening, everyone. I'm Robert Townsend. Well, after a 4-month break, soccer is back in downtown St. Louis. 5 on your side's Andy Krall is live outside Energizer Park for the city's third home opener. And Andy, sounds like fans and local business owners are re-energized.
That's right, Robert. And we even have a final score from the City SC season home opener. It's 2 goose eggs. City SC getting 0, Colorado getting 0. But there were also a lot of new fans here at Energizer Park, besides a new name on the roster. That's courtesy of Joey Zielinski, the recently signed defender that the team picked for a first-team contract in the MLS Super Draft pick. Now, besides Zielinski and, of course, all those new fans, we even have a new bottom line for some nearby restaurants and bars.
We love to have the soccer right next door or even downtown. It just brings so much.
Mark Mahaney has been general manager at Cyberg's on Market a little bit more than a year and a half, remembering what the 2024 season brought, even with City SC missing the playoffs.
It wasn't the turnout we expected, but it was still a good season.
On a typical Friday night, Mahaney says they do $10,000 to $12,000 in sales, jumping to $16,000 or even $18,000 during a Friday soccer game.
You know, the soccer always brings in a lot of foot traffic through us over here. Cybergs and all the surrounding businesses as well.
Besides checking out some local haunts, fans were tearing up the city block party ahead of Saturday night's game. Some fans, like the Rich family, traveling for hours from a suburb of Chicago.
It was easy to get tickets. It was easy to get down here and get lodging.
Seeing all the celebration was extra special as one of 11-year-old Parker Rich's birthday gifts. Parker, why'd you want this to be your birthday present?
I'm a diehard St. Louis City fan.
And I think just being down here, it's really exciting for the two of them. They're big soccer fans, and he plays club soccer, and so just to be around, you know, what could be and see all the professionals, it's really exciting to see them.
Mahaney says having visitors from out of town spotlights how much the downtown economy is bolstered by games like these.
Oh, that's so exciting, especially down here in the downtown area. Anytime we get in a good event or soccer season blues, it's just great for our business overall, so it's awesome.
And the next City SC game will be against San Diego a week from today in California. The team eventually making their way back home to Energizer Park on March 15th to hopefully shut out Seattle. Now, the one and only Frank Cusimano will have all of the game's highlights from tonight a little bit later on in the show. For now, though, reporting live at Energizer Park, Annie Krall, 5 on your side.
So much fun. Annie, thank you. It was a cold night for soccer fans at Energizer Park with temperatures in the 30s. We did make it above freezing today for the first time in a week. Weather impact meteorologist Gary Frank says an even bigger warm-up is on the way.
Yeah, as we continue to go outside right now, it's obviously chilly, and that was definitely part of what happens when we have soccer in February, but things will improve over the next few days as temperatures continue to be on the cool side as we look at City Park. Not much in the way of cloud cover overnight, and overnight cloud cover helps us from really bottoming out. It adds a little bit of an insulation from allowing that heat to escape, but still some of us are sitting around freezing like Warrenton, but in Chesterfield you're already down to 22 degrees. It is mighty chilly in some cases, and I think you'll see some teens in some cases, but for the most part we'll still head into the overnight and fall into the mid-20s. I don't think we're going to drop a ton tonight. Our main story and our main focus when the next 24 hours is the fact that it's not as cold. I know it's a little cold right now. We got tons of melting on the way for the rest of the weekend, and that obviously starts with tomorrow and goes to the next few days, but I have no snow chances on the way for the rest of the week. That's a positive, right? So you're not going to get any snow days ahead, but we're going to be talking about much warmer weather. How far above average we are over the next few days, and if we're going to see any changes ahead as we work our way into the month of March.
We're following a developing story out of the Vatican where the health of Pope Francis has taken a turn. The pontiff is in critical condition tonight in a Rome hospital. The 88-year-old has been battling pneumonia for more than a week. Today, he was put on high-flow oxygen therapy and blood transfusions. Now, the Vatican says the Holy Father is alert, but in pain. Tragedy tonight in southwest Missouri. 4 people are dead, including 3 teens after a deadly crash. 6 others were hurt in last night's crash on Highway 54 near the town of Walker, Missouri. That's about an hour northwest of Springfield. Police say a car went through a stop sign and was hit by an SUV. The Climax Springs School District confirms 3 of the victims in the car were recent graduates who just left a high school basketball game. Dozens of pets have new homes tonight, and it's all thanks to the large amount of St. Louisans who showed up today at the Animal Protection Association of Missouri in Brentwood. All adoption fees are being waived this weekend. As 5 on Your Side's Mercedes McKay tells us, the adoption blitz comes after St. Louis County took back control over its Olivet shelter.
She just deserves to be loved. I mean, everybody wants puppies like their families. She just needs a woman. I want her.
It was a day full of happy emotions for Taylor McCarty and her fiance Caleb.
I'm trying not to cry, but very excited. Very excited. I'm excited to give her the love that she deserves and needs.
The soon-to-be husband and wife adopted 2-year-old Zenna, and the timing couldn't be more perfect.
We're going to try and train her so that she can be our ring bearer in October.
Yeah.
The McCartys were one of dozens filling the APA shelter's lobby in Brentwood, taking advantage of waived adoption fees as the county took back control of the location in Olivet, prompting the organization to move more than 60 animals to its Brentwood facility.
It's very important to adopt other than purchasing a dog from a breeder or puppy mills, because if you don't adopt from shelter, sometimes they end up getting euthanized, and there's not enough good homes for dogs.
The APA stepped in to help the Olivet shelter for more than 2 years when the county-run pound came under fire for poor conditions and high euthanasia rates. The APA's undertaking to clear the Olivet shelter came on the heels of a recent lawsuit that accused the county health department of violating Sunshine Law by trying to cover up the existence of a, quote, shelter-wide euthanasia plan. The shelter was reassured by the county this week that would not take place.
We just hope every animal gets adopted. I just hope everybody finds a good home and treats their animals well.
Mercedes McKay, 5 on Your Side.
All of the puppies and kittens have been adopted. Now the focus is on finding homes for larger dogs. All adoption fees will be waived again tomorrow. The Brentwood shelter will be open from 10 a.m. to 4. Just hours ago, the community came out to honor a fallen Marine from Wentzville. Today, a pub crawl was held for the Freedom 13, a nonprofit started by the father of Lance Corporal Jared Schmitz. He was one of the 13 U.S. service members killed during the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan in 2021. Money raised will go towards building a retreat camp with 13 homes for veterans and their families in Bourbon, Missouri.
Once we get done with this first camp, we'll expand out to other states and do this 49 more times. And then there'll always be a house that Jared built at every camp just to remember him.
Tuesday would have been Jared's 24th birthday. 3 officers killed in the line of duty in the span of 12 hours.
Our city is heartbroken.
The tragic end to a traffic stop and a hero's final act to free hostages inside a hospital. From 30 Rock to Frontenac.
The first baseball game I ever saw was at Busch Stadium.
The message of faith, bringing the Today Show's Savannah Guthrie to St. Louis.
After today's high was still below average, we've got a steady diet of this over the next few days. Above average readings when the core of the warmth settles in, and how long we can hold on to this pattern for the next few days.
Tonight, a police officer in Pennsylvania is dead after a hostage situation at a hospital ended in a shootout. 2 other officers and 3 hospital workers were injured. No word yet on why the armed man took people hostage inside the intensive care unit. And tonight, the community of Virginia Beach, Virginia is mourning the loss of 2 police officers. They were gunned down late last night during a traffic stop.
Those officers fell to the ground. While on the ground, defenseless, he shot them each a second time.
Police found the body of the suspect at a nearby shed. They say he shot himself in the head. Developing tonight, the future of the Israel-Hamas ceasefire is in doubt after Israel delayed the release of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. Israeli officials say they want the humiliating handovers of Israeli hostages held by Hamas to stop. Today was the 7th and final hostage prisoner exchange in the first phase of the ceasefire deal. President Donald Trump called the condition of the hostages, quote, disgraceful. A fixture on NBC's Today Show made a stop in St. Louis. Savannah Guthrie was at the new Clark Family Branch Library in Frontenac to talk about her new children's book. It's entitled Mostly What God Does Is Love You. It's an adaptive version of a book of essays she first wrote on faith.
You know, my faith is really important to me, but it's not something I was always, wanting to go be out publicly about. I mean, it's something very private and personal, so I felt like this was the most vulnerable thing I've ever done.
Guthrie's first broadcasting job was in Columbia. She says she has fond memories, of coming to the big city of St. Louis to have lots of fun with friends. An unusual animal rescue, how police helped a pooch who was caught with his paws in the cookie jar.
Temperatures at this hour, some of us are cold. We're in the low to mid 20s, in other cases right around freezing, but all of us above freezing again tomorrow. How warm it gets after we cool down overnight.
Check this out. A dog in Wisconsin looked more like Winnie the Pooh with his head stuck in the honey pot. Apparently, Lil Murphy was trying to retrieve the last milk bone at the bottom of a plastic jar. Now, his owners tried for an hour to cut it off with no success. The vet's office was closed, so they took him to the police station where thankfully, you see, those officers were able to free him. Well, the party is getting started in Soulard for Mardi Gras 2025. The Taste of Soulard kicked off today, featuring the food and drinks from the bars and restaurants in the historic neighborhood. The food and drinks will be flowing again tomorrow from 11 a.m. until 5. And tomorrow the party will, of course, go to the Pooches with the Purina Pet Parade and the Wiener Dog Derby well underway. Organizers call it the largest costume pet parade in the world. This all builds up, of course, to the next weekend's Bud Light Grand Parade. It steps off next Saturday at 11 a.m. from Busch Stadium. Of course, the beads will be flying as the parade marches down South Broadway all the way down to the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. And tomorrow will definitely be a good day for the ever so popular pet parade. Meteorologist Gary Frank joins us now with a weather impact forecast.
Yeah, as we continue to look outside, no clouds at all. And that's going to be a good news for us tomorrow as it allows us to help warm us up over the next few days. Temperatures right now, 26 in St. Charles. The big picture shows that it is warmer off to the south, but it was obviously a little bit more apparent when it was during the daylight hours. Now we've cooled down, but from a 24-hour temperature standpoint, it's a big difference because we're a little warmer here, but throughout the entire Midwest, it's a lot warmer. That is telling us that this really cold air mass has finally exited. As we look downtown, you can see the wind is moving a little bit, but otherwise it's calm at the surface. You can see that flag moving, but it says it's calm at the airport, so that's okay. It's 29 right now. We got to 41. Our average is 48. We're 10 degrees below normal in the morning, and that's the big difference for us. Tomorrow morning, I do think that we're in the low 20s outside of the city, upper 20s. It's still warmer than it has been, at least from a starting standpoint. And I think our future wind tomorrow is not going to be anything too significant. This is going to be one of those warmer days that feels warm because we have a good wind direction, and also it's not howling. So we're kind of in that Goldilocks period where we start out at 38 degrees at 9 a.m. and we warm up very quickly. Southwest wind, temps in the mid-50s. It's excellent outside. It's a very nice day to be outside for anything. Now, as we talk about how it starts to feel like spring, we're still ways away. The 20th is when we have the vernal equinox. That's really where we have equal daylight, equal nighttime, or very close to it, right? But the meteorological spring starts March 1st. So we're starting to feel like we're getting closer. And when you start to look at why things are going to melt so much quicker than the last time around, let's compare what our sun angle is at noon. Because in December, it's at about 31 degrees. In June, it's 77. Those are the two highest and lowest points. Well, obviously we've come up from there from the January standpoint, and when we get closer to the end of February into early March, we're getting closer to about 50 degrees or so in terms of the height of the sun angle. That means it's going to clear some of this out. When you add some of this warm weather in, that's going to get a lot of melting done throughout the day. Now, I do think we'll see most of that warm weather with the exception of maybe a slight chance for rain on Wednesday. However, as we look ahead, you will continue to see at least opportunities for temperatures above average from 5 to 10, maybe 15 degrees all the way through Sunday and Monday and beyond. And I think over the next few days, you'll notice that temperatures go from 56 degrees to 63 and then eventually back into the mid 60s here as we look ahead. We stay above freezing for the most part. We might touch it on Friday morning. Otherwise, 50s and 60s with slight chance of rain the next 7 days. We're going to do a lot of thawing over the next few days.
Right now, we're following breaking news out of downtown St. Louis. Police are on the scene at the Civic Center Metrolink station for a medical emergency. Now, witnesses tell 5 on your side a man was hit by a train. We're told the trains are not operating right now between the Union Station and Busch Stadium platforms. This is just steps away from Enterprise Center as fans left tonight's Blues game. We'll bring you any overnight developments on KSDK.com and on Today in St. Louis at 6 a.m.
I'm Frank Cusimano. I'm not sure if we've had a busier day in St. Louis sports. You will see it all next. Tigers, Billikens, Illinois Blues, City SC, and the Cardinals. Stick around. A lot of potential sports to lead with tonight, but I simply went with the best. The rise of the Missouri basketball Tigers has been the story of the year in this region. Tonight, a tough one at Arkansas. You see, John Calipari can't lose many more games and make the NCAA tourney. The Tiger bench was out of sight early. The best Mizzou shooter since John Sunvold, Caleb Grill, came out firing. End of the half, Marquise Warwick will knock down the tray. Tigers up 7 at the break, and he says, "Be quiet, Arkansas." Well, they got loud in the second half. The former Tiger, Trayvon Brazil, with feeling. Now, Mark Mitchell led the Tigers with 17, including this dunk and one late. Not enough. The Hogs hold on for a 92-85 victory. Brad Underwood in Illinois in Madison Square Garden facing Duke. 5 first-round draft picks on the floor, including the likely #1 pick, Cooper Flagg. He's the next phenom in the basketball world. Another first-round pick, Will Riley, who just turned 19. Look at him glide to the glass. But Cooper planted his flag for Duke. He had 16. Duke annihilates Illinois, 110-67. Illinois has lost 3 in a row. The Billikens came out on fire against Rhode Island. First trip down, Gibson Jimerson with a bomb. The shooting was contagious. The skilled, sinewy 6'11" Max Bakar will knock it down. Slew with 15 three-pointers today. Isaiah Swope with a tray there. Even the babies had their mojo working at Shavitz. Jimerson, 5 threes, his first ever double-double, 21 points and 11 boards. And Mr. McCautry had a big game, too. Robbie Avila, well, he had a game-high 22. Slew rolls, 81-66.
That was our best team win of the year in terms of the amount of guys we had contribute, what we got from the bench, their ability to come in and build on a really good week of practice and then translate that practice to the floor. I thought Amari, last 3 days in practice was their best player.
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
City SC introduced their new head coach, Olaf Melberg, in January. And tonight, Olaf unveiled his squad in the opener against the Colorado Rapids. Even Mother Nature could not prevent the 36th consecutive sellout. We thought City took a 1-0 lead in the first half on the free kick by Edward Leuven. Henry Kessler set up Simon Betcher for the goal, but Kessler was offside. Colorado did not have a shot on goal. City had plenty, but the game ended in a 0-0 draw.
Great chances to score. So yeah, obviously a game we should have won, but the performance was good.
It's a baptism under fire after the break for the Blues. A 26-game sprint to the finish, and the Blues opened up with the absolute best team in hockey, the wonderful Winnipeg Jets. Alexander Steen, the heir apparent to Doug Armstrong at Enterprise tonight, and Alex knows he can build around Robert Thomas, who scores his 100th career NHL goal right there to tie the game at 1. Thomas, 3 points tonight, under 3 to play. Pavel Buchnevich will unleash a howitzer. Blues up 3-2. Just hold on, right? No, with 28 seconds to play, Gabriel Velarde will get the deflection goal, and we go to overtime in the shootout. Braden Shen will be stoned. The Jets win 4-3. This really hurts.
I really like the way he played in the third. But you get that big goal in the power play, we got to close it out. And that's, again, it's frustrating. We got a point. We were behind going into the third. There's a lot of positives to build out of this game, so I don't want to dwell on the negative that we didn't close it out.
Taking Flight, Card Spring Training, sponsored by Woods Basement Systems.
The Cardinals played their first game of the spring, and the big story is this, a report that Nolan Arenado is reconsidering a trade to the Astros. He initially said no. Stay tuned. He did have that base hit today, and the Marlins won the game 7-6. But the big story is Nolan rethinking what he should be doing. He wants to play on a winner. He's in the sunset of his career. The Astros are a great team. He said no initially. It would be great to see him, end up in Houston.
Sure. Frank,
right.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Gary's got a final check on our weather. Right before that, let's do this breaking. We're following this developing story. Again, we've got information coming in about this breaking news that we told you about a few minutes ago. We're following it. It's in downtown. Right now, police are on the scene at the Civic Center Metrolink station. Now, witnesses tell 5 on your side, a man was hit by a train. This is the station by Enterprise Center as Blues fans left tonight's game. Metrolink has stopped service between Union Station and Busch Stadium. We will bring you any overnight developments on KSDK.com and again today in St. Louis, starting at 6 a.m. That's our show tonight. Saturday Night Live is coming your way next, everyone. Enjoy your night.